Hey, builders, before we begin, I have a quick question for you. Are we connected on social media? The reason I'm asking is because as much as I love giving you the podcast episode every single week, I'd love to take our relationship deeper. So if we're not connected on social media, let's connect. I'm on LinkedIn at Robin_Mindsteps. I'm on Twitter at Robin_Mindsteps. I'm on Facebook at Robin Jackson. Please, let's connect so we can keep the conversation going. Now, on with the show. How do builders like us make a dramatic difference in the lives of our students in spite of all the obstacles we face? How do you keep your vision for your school from being held hostage by resistant teachers, uncooperative parents, ridiculous district policies, or lack of time, money, or resources? If you're facing those challenges right now, here's where you'll find the answers, strategies, and actionable tips you need to overcome any obstacle you face. You don't have to wait to make a difference in the lives of the people you serve. You can turn your school into a success story right now with the people and resources you already have. Let's get started. Hey builders, welcome to another episode of the School Leadership Reimagined podcast. I'm your host, Robin Jackson, and today we're going to do another one of our Rewind series. While we're on hiatus, we thought it would be really cool to go back into our archives and pull some of our favorite episodes and replay them. And there's some things that are really relevant right now. So I've been going through the archive. I've been handpicking. Today we're going to be revisiting episode 171. Let's dive in today to some things that I want to suggest you consider tackling during the month of September in order to not only set your whole school and your year up for success, but in order to make sure that you're making positive momentum right now. And so the first thing is that if you have a vision for your school, now is time to anchor in that vision. You see, a lot of times we go through the work of creating a vision. Everybody gets really excited about the vision, and then we never talk about it again. You should be a broken record about your vision. And at the beginning of school, you should be reminding people about your vision. You should be re-anchoring in your vision. You should be realigning the work to your vision, reminding people this is what we're building. And if you have a mission and core values in place, then you want to anchor in those too. This is what we're building, vision. This is why it's important, mission. This is the role that we all must play, core values. And when you do that at the beginning of the year, not just for your teachers, but for your students and for your families that you serve, you remind people that this is not going away. You get people to get refocused, re-energized. You help people see what work is really important, and you give people an understanding that helps them explain to themselves why you're doing the things that you're doing. So you will find that you will have to explain yourself less and less and less the more that you anchor in your vision, mission, and core values. So one of the first things you need to be doing this year is anchoring in your vision, mission, and core values. The next thing that I suggest you do is try to get into every classroom at least once in the first month to 6 weeks of school. I know that's a tall order because I'm sure you're very busy. You have a ton of other things that you need to be doing right now, but here's why this is so important. When you get into those classrooms and you use something called microslicing, and so those of you who have been in our world for a while, you know what microslicing is. It's when you go into the classroom for 5 to 7 minutes and you try to determine the root cause of why a teacher's practice is either working or not working. So you only need 5 to 7 minutes in each classroom. We're not talking about half-hour observations, and you're not writing anything down. You don't need to document anything, fill out forms. You're just acclimating yourself to the teachers in your building, but you're also micro-slicing and identifying teachers one thing. And this becomes really important because if you can get into all those classrooms and identify a teacher's one thing at the very beginning of the year, then when you have goal conversations with teachers, when you are determining PD needs for the year, you have that information. You're not going just based off of what you saw last year or, based off of what the teachers are telling you alone. You also have some ideas to contribute to those conversations. Now, bonus points if in addition to getting into every classroom, you also build your teacher dashboard, because the teacher dashboard is one of the most powerful tools you have. And I almost hesitate talking about the teacher dashboard because I hear a lot of people say, oh, I'm using a teacher dashboard, but what they're using is just kind of some spreadsheet that helps them track how many observations they did. That's not what the teacher dashboard is for. The teacher dashboard is for you to have a place where you are tracking teachers' progress on their one thing. So if you can get into classrooms and take a look at their one thing and understand every teacher's one thing in the next 4 to 6 weeks, then you can record that on the teacher dashboard and look at where they are with that one thing. And that dashboard will then tell you what kind of support the teacher needs in order to grow one level in that area this year, because you've identified this one thing as the most important thing that the teacher needs to work on right now. Then you can look at what level the teacher is currently performing in that one thing. And then your dashboard helps you figure out, what do you need to do? What kind of support do you need to give teachers right now to help them grow at least one level in the thing that you identified? So the dashboard is really less about kind of paperwork and about the teacher, and more about helping you stay organized and helping you stay focused. Because every single week, once you have this dashboard established, you're going to take a look at that dashboard and you're going to say, all right, how are teachers doing? And you're going to go teacher by teacher by teacher. And that's going to help you realize, oh, I haven't been to see this teacher in a while. I need to get back. I'm giving this support to this teacher and it's not working the way that it should. So maybe I need to consider a different kind of support. Oh, I see a teacher making progress. Let's celebrate that. And let's identify what the next step for that teacher is going to be. This dashboard is going to, if you use it right, it's going to be golden for you, because once you have this set up, then your observation practice becomes just a matter of sitting down with your dashboard for 20 minutes or so every single week and taking a look at that and figuring out what you need to do next week. When you go into classrooms, you'll be showing up at the right time with the right feedback, and you're going to see exponential growth in your staff this year. So if you could get into every classroom in the next month or so and microslice every single teacher's practice to understand what their one thing is, and then record that one thing on the dashboard and start getting in the habit of sitting down with your dashboard every single week to plan the kind of support and feedback and follow-up you're going to give teachers this year, you're going to have a much more productive feedback and support cycle going, and a much more productive and less crazy making year. Trust me, this is a game changer. So number one, you need to re-anchor in your vision, mission, and core values. Number two, you need to get into every single classroom in the next 4 to 6 weeks and build your teacher dashboard. The third thing that I would urge you to do is that you want to, by the end of September, be creating your next 90-day plan. So you know by now that as builders, we focus on a 90-day planning cycle. And if you've gotten out the habit of that 90-day planning cycle, this is a really good month. September is a really good time to get back into that habit, because then you can focus on the fourth quarter of the year, October, November, and December. So spending the time during this month preparing, gathering all the information you need to sit down and create a 90-day plan starting in October to be able to take you through December. Now, here's the thing about 90-day plans that I think a lot of people don't understand. You're not just planning work. Your 90-day plan is saying, what do I want to address? What obstacle do I want to completely remove and eliminate from our pathway? What success do I want to experience by December 31st? And then what you do is you back map from that success. So it's not just, oh, we got to do some work and hopefully, we'll make some progress. No, you are starting your 90-day plan from a tangible success event. And with builders, that success event is usually by identifying the biggest obstacle right now between us and our vision, and then thinking about how do we remove that obstacle in the next 90 days. So this is a great time to start paying attention to some of the obstacles that you're experiencing right now, some of the challenges that your staff is facing, and to start thinking about, okay, what can I do to remove this obstacle? And then what would my school look like if we were to remove this obstacle by December 31st? What would that then allow us to do this school year? What kind of progress could we make this school year. Obstacles might be anything from we realize that we're letting down our special education students, and the way that we have been doing inclusionary practices in our classrooms isn't working, and we need to revamp that. An obstacle might be that we have a lot of students who by December, they've already given up because they've been, they come back to school, they are already in a cycle of failure still from the previous year, and they come right back and get into those same habits. And by December, they've given up, and it's just a slog from January to June or whatever we finish our school year. So what can we do to prevent those students from ever hitting that free fall of failure in the first place? An obstacle might be that the reading program that we're using, we're not implementing with fidelity, and we need to go implement it with fidelity, because if we don't, we're not going to ever hit the progress goals that we want to make this year. Do you see what I mean? Like, instead of thinking about another thing to add to your plate, use your 90-day planning process to start thinking about, what do we want to take off our plates? Our teachers have told us they're overwhelmed, and so we just randomly grab something off their plates. But what you want to think about now is you want to think about what is the biggest obstacle that's getting in the way, and how do I remove this obstacle? And when you do that, and if you can focus on that for the fourth quarter of this year, here's what you have. You go into the next school, the next year, not the next school year, but you go into the next year and into that testing season with a lot of momentum, because you have a victory. You experience a victory before you send teachers away for winter break. You create this sense of momentum that can carry you through the rest of the year. Oh, and by the way, you remove an obstacle that is in the way of your vision. So instead of waiting and saying, oh, I'm not going to see victories until next year towards the end of the school year, why not create a 90-day plan that deliberately creates a victory right now? Okay, so you've done three things. You have re-anchored in your vision. You've micro-sliced all of your teachers' practices and created a teacher dashboard. You have started thinking about your 90-day plan, and then you're going to complete that 90-day plan by the end of September so you can start working on it October 1. And then the last thing that I would encourage you to do, and this one is for you, is you need to spend some time cultivating some partners. And I was about to say accountability partners, but I don't think that accountability is what you're looking for here. One of the things that I'm noticing is happening to a lot of the builders I support is that your confidence is under attack. You have a vision. Right now, you're in the honeymoon period of your vision. You've announced it. You've re-anchored in it. Everybody's excited. You have had a successful reopening. People are excited to be back. The work is before them. But somewhere around the end of September, beginning of October, you have what I start calling the October surprise. And it can be a real blow to your confidence, because the initial excitement at the beginning of the school year always wears off. And we all know that. And yet we never are prepared for it when it happens. And we start taking it personally, and we start to see our own confidence crumble. So one of the things that I want to encourage you to do right now is to find some people who can help you protect your confidence. Now, that may be another colleague. A lot of you are doing this by yourselves. Find another builder. So we have a couple of places where builders hang out. So if you're looking for a builder to connect with, one of the places you can find builders is in the School Leadership Reimagined Facebook group. So if you want to go there and look for some builders, you can. The best place, of course, is to find builders inside of Buildership University, either the free version or the paid version, because those are people who are committed to doing this work just like you are. It is so incredible to me to see this happening on our vision workshops, where people come and they're struggling with their vision and other people are jumping in and supporting them and helping them. It's even more gratifying for me to see that inside of Buildership University, when we have office hours and study hall, people come and they're very vulnerable about the challenges that they're facing, the blows that their confidence is taking, and we build each other up. It's not just me, although I'm there doing the building with everybody else. The other builders surround this person or whoever is struggling. They send them resources. They share their own experiences. They tell them that, you're not crazy. This can happen. They support each other. And if you don't have somebody that can support you, and if you are not establishing those relationships before that October surprise hits you, your confidence can take a real blow. And so one of the things that we often don't think about, we have our checklist, beginning of the school checklist and all these things. The thing we don't think about is that we don't think about taking care of ourselves, protecting our confidence. We forget how hard this work can feel sometimes, because if you are the principal of a school, then you're getting squeezed from both sides. The district's coming down on you and you're getting beat up at the district level. The teachers and parents are squeezing you from the other side. And so you're kind of stuck in the middle. And the same thing is also true if you're a superintendent or you're at the district office. You're getting squeezed. You've got the board on your back. You've got the teachers and the parents and the families, kind of pushing on the other side. And it can be so demoralizing when you are giving your best every single day, and there are people who don't appreciate it. There are people who complain about it. There are people who poke holes in it. So you need right now, while the honeymoon is happening, while the back to school high is still in the air, you need to prepare yourself for that October surprise, kids. It's coming. Even if it doesn't come in October, your confidence is going to take a blow. You're going to hit a setback. Somebody's going to complain about something. A parent's going to come and cuss at everybody. A student you've been working with for a long time gives up on him or herself. A teacher or a group of teachers starts to complain about this vision that you're launching, and they start pushing back on your vision because it means that they have to adjust what they're doing and they don't want to do that. Whatever that blow is, it's coming. And so I want to encourage you right now to be intentional. When I was an administrator, I had a group of other administrators that I used to hang out with. We would get together once a month and have really great coffee, and we would just take turns. Okay, and we talk about what was happening in our school, the things we were struggling with, the crazy stories that we always have. We'd share, and people could laugh with you because they get it. And we were very intentional about doing that. I still remember Nicole and Valda and Donna. We would sit together every single month and do that. And that support, that level of support helped me to go back in the ring the next day. It gave me what I needed to be able to do my work. And so if you are not intentional about doing that, you will find yourself more and more isolated. And I know everybody's busy. We were busy too, but once a month we would get together. After work, we'd go and spend a couple of hours in a coffee shop somewhere and just be able to relax around each other and share our stories. If you're not doing that, if you're not being intentional about getting with other builders and spending that time creating your safety net, your support network. And yes, I know you have families. Yes, I know you have other obligations, but you got to take care of you too. And the trap that we often fall into is we're taking care of everybody else and we leave a little time for ourselves. And so, I know I hear self-care, and I'm not going to bash self-care, but this is not a bubble bath. This is not, a massage. Those things are great, but they wear off. Putting yourself around other builders won't wear off. And so be intentional about creating your network. So let's go ahead and just kind of recap 4 things that I think you really ought to be focused on for September. The number one thing is that you need to re-anchor in your vision, mission, and core values. And if you don't have a vision yet, then I really want to encourage you to go to buildershipuniversity.com and sign up for the next free vision workshop. We are doing free vision workshops all the time. You can come back as many times as you want. I will work with you personally to help you get a vision. It's absolutely free. You need a vision because that's what you're going to anchor in. It starts with your vision. So number 1, anchor in your vision. Number 2, make sure that you try to get into every classroom in the next 4 to 6 weeks and use microslicing to determine each teacher's root cause and get your teacher dashboard set up. I'm telling you, if you do that now, the the rest of the year, your observation process, it's going to be so much easier. But also, you are going to see so much growth. Every principal I'm working with right now who has a teacher dashboard, and we're going through that teacher dashboard together, it's incredible to see how quickly teachers are growing and how much more receptive they are because they're getting the right feedback and support that they need in time and in the right way. So number 2, make sure you're doing that. Number 3, make sure that you are thinking now about your next 90-day plan. And by the end of September, you have your 90-day plan in place so that you can finish this calendar year strong and create a victory that will give you the momentum that's going to take you into the second half of the school year. And then number 4, get you a builder group, a group of builders who can be your support network, and make sure that you are being intentional about setting aside a time. And if it's every month, if it's every week, you want to kind of make sure that you have a rhythm of time that you're getting together with builders. Now, of course, you can do that on your own. If you join Buildership University, that's a part of our rhythm. We get together every single week. Plus, we have a quarterly party, social event. So you will have plenty of plenty of time to be able to network with other builders. But you need that network because that's going to bolster you up and protect you from the October surprise. So this episode was a little different. A couple of just little tips and strategies for how do you kind of make sure that you go into this next month to 6 weeks and with some intention, and that you're thinking about the right things. But I hope it's been helpful for you today, because here's the thing. When you become a builder, you are much more intentional and deliberate about doing things now to save yourself time, energy, effort, heartbreak later on. And so I want to encourage you to take these 4 ideas seriously, put them in place so that you can not just start strong, but set yourself up for a really successful school year like a builder. I'll talk to you next time. Hey, if you're ready to get started being a builder right away, then I want to invite you to join us at Buildership University. It's our exclusive online community for builders just like you, where you'll be able to get the exact training that you need to turn your school into a success story right now with the people and resources you already have. Inside, you'll find our best online courses, live trainings with me, tons of resources, templates, and exemplars, and monthly live office hours with me where you can ask me anything and get my help on whatever challenge you're facing right now. If you're tired of hitting obstacle after obstacle and you're sick of tiny little incremental gains each year, if you're ready to make a dramatic difference in your school right now, then you need to join Buildership University. Just go to buildershipuniversity.com and get started writing your school success story today. Hey, it's Robin here, and I want to thank you for listening to today's episode. Now, if you have a question about today's episode, or you just want to keep the conversation going, did you know that we had a School Leadership Reimagined Facebook group? All you need to do is go to Facebook, join the School Leadership Reimagined Facebook group. Now, there are going to be a couple of questions that we ask at the beginning because we want to protect this group and make sure that we don't have any trolls come in, and that it really is for people who are principals, assistant principals, district administrators. So make sure you answer those questions or you won't get in, but then we can keep the conversation going. Plus, we do a lot of great bonus content. I'm in there every single weekday. So if you have a question or comment about the episode, let's continue the conversation. Join us at the School Leadership Reimagined Facebook group, and I'll talk to you next time.